My challenge, if you accept it, will test your cunning and footwork even in the midst of life-threatening danger.
My challenge, if you accept it, tasks you with healing the most grievous of wounds.
My challenge, if you accept it, will test your champion's ability to defend and protect while enduring terrible hardship.
Now, my challenge, should you accept it, will test your ability to stand right in the face of danger and persevere.
Hey guys, Clover here, and thanks for tuning in to watch my guide on how to complete the healer part of the legendary questline. Of the 4 challenges available to you in the Celestial Blessing part of the legendary questline, I would say the healer quest is probably the easier of the ones to do. On par with the tanking one from what I've seen so far. Prior to starting the quest, there is a few things you need to do in preparation to get yourself ready for being able to do this part of the challenge. First thing you need to do is make sure that you have a healable focus frame and a quick macro to set your focus to Rathian. This is just going to make the quest just that so much easier for you to do on the healing side of it. The next thing you want to do is to go into your talents, into your glyphs, and pick up some kind of AoE talent spec. For a Disc Priest, I recommend Divine Star for this. It just makes ad control that much easier during the fight, and they haven't got that much health, so anything which could take them down quickly and efficiently is going to do you. Is going to set you onto a good line for that side of things. The challenge itself isn't all that hard. The main aim, what you've got to do here, is keep Rathian alive while he takes on a vision of Deathwing. And to do this, there's a few different parts to this fight. Firstly, the main parts which you see here, which we can call the main phase, is Rathian will be tanking the vision of Deathwing, and while this is happening, there will be some ads spawning in the form of small fire type globules, and you basically they're easy to just one shot with Divine Star, Mindseer, or any quick AoE talent. They don't have that much health. That is the main part. During this phase, you're also going to have some ground AoE effects to avoid. They're easily avoidable. There is a dark patch on the ground indicating where these are going to spawn. There's 2 main forms of this. One, which is a bit like a Warlock's Rain of Fire, which covers the whole area. Simply just moving out the small zones on the floor will avoid this damage. The other one is like a giant burning ground, a bit like Consecration or Death and Decay from a DK. Again, just move out of these areas and you'll avoid all that damage. The second phase which you're going to encounter on this will involve Rathian being stunned in the centre of the room, and while he's stunned in the centre of the room, you'll have 4 elementals on the apexes, and they will be doing some damage towards him, firing like a flame effect towards him, and you've just basically got to keep him up during this, and there is occasionally some ads, the same fiery globules, easily to be taken out. Recommended for myself, from my perspective, it was pretty simple to keep him up during this phase. A shield placed on Rathian, the occasional penance, and a few flash heals if needed. It was easy enough to just keep him topped up, and again, if the globules did spawn, the Divine Star took care of them without any problems. Okay, the execution to this entire fight for the different healing classes is going to be a bit different, but from a Disc perspective, what you want to be doing is putting a heal onto Rathian, a shield, a large hot from the start, just to take off the initial burst, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine straight away. He's not going to take any major damage from the first. You're then going to get a few ads, a few globules which will be taken down. Again, a Divine Star or a Mindseer will just take these down very simply, and you'll have no problems from them. But the one things you do want to be watching for is to move out the big AoE damage on the floor. That is what seems to do the most damage to yourself. If you can manage to avoid getting hit by any of the AoE damage, and you can take the ads down, the first phase of this fight is going to be very simple. Into the second phase, you want to just position yourself away from the elementals adjacent to Rathian, so you're not getting hit by any of the damage which is coming through, and just stand there and heal him up. As I said for myself, a power word shield and penance and a few flash heals now and again was all that was needed to keep him up. Other healing classes should be able to handle this phase just as simply. For instance, Restro Shamans, if you put an Earth Shield onto Rathian himself, maybe Riptide, drop a healing rain underneath him, and the occasional hard heal, maybe a greater heal. You should be perfectly fine with that. Same goes for a Druid. I wouldn't see any need for you to actually go into a tree form or use any major cooldowns in that phase. Just keeping him hotted up and some occasional hard healing onto him, and you should get through that phase pretty simply. The entire fight itself is just a culmination of phase 1 and phase 2, just repeating one after each other until the actual vision of Deathwing has been defeated. This is going to be slightly easier for your Mistweaver Monks, your Disc Priests, and for some extent I would say probably the Restro Druids if they spec into the talent they have for being able to do some DPS. Obviously if you can put some DPS down onto the vision as well, it's just going to go that much quicker. Obviously for the likes of your Holy Paladins and for some extent your Restro Shamans, it may go on a bit longer, the fight, but again there is no real drain on your mana to a great extent, and if you do need to, just any mana regen talents may help you if you're going to be struggling in that way. I would personally recommend for myself that certain classes like Elemental Shamans should probably think about doing this one instead of the ranged DPS one, just for the fact that it is such a simple fight, and they will not really become under any pressure even in caster gear while in a healing spec. Okay, a few final points to note from this entire fight. As you will notice from the video, I did on occasion pull aggro away from Rathian for the vision itself. I just found if this did happen, just kiting him around a little bit until Rathian had got some aggro back onto him again, just solved that problem. He just said, as I said before, he doesn't hit that hard, so he's not going to be able to one-shot you or anything like that. A few hits from him and a hot or a small heal like a penance, he's just going to sort that out pretty simply, and you'll be able to get back on with the fight. Okay guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope it's helped you. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you please leave a comment below if you've got any questions. If you didn't like the video, please by all means press the dislike button. Just please, if you do that, just leave me a comment below. Otherwise, remember, subscribe, share it with your friends. I hope to see you all again. Thanks very much guys. See you all later.
Friends, nothing is impossible.
I understand. Thank you, Great Crane.